Okay folks, we've worked on this thing a little bit today. Wanted to show you what I got done. I of course cut the frame rails. I was going to cut the frame off close up here to the springs like I normally do. You know, most of my wreckers I cut them as close as I can because you don't want a lot of overhang on your underreach or your wheel lift. But this truck I'm not going to run one on, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. And this is going to give me an extra 5 or 6 inches of the boom being back, and also it's going to give me a better place to mount my outriggers through. Instead of just mounting them on here, I can bolt them into the side of the frame too. So it's going to help out in the long run, so that's why I did that. I've just got it on sitting up, and I've got it blocked because, you know, we've got rivets here that we don't want to sit on. So what I did on the front, I don't have any cross members in it yet at all, and what I did on the front was I notched it, one side of it, and set the 4-inch tubing all the way in it. And the reason I done that is I can weld it there, and then I can slide this thing back, show you on this side. You know, I can weld it all the way around, and I can slide it back and weld it on the front over to this side of the wall. And the reason I want to strengthen that up as good as I can is the cylinder for our slide is going to mount to the center of this, and of course run, you know, back this way to the center. And I may come in here and put a gusset from here over to the subframe and just back, you know, to one on each side, and that way when the cylinder mounts, because, you know, if you get it in a bind and you're pushing really hard on it, you know, I don't want to take any chances on this cross member bending. It's 1/4 inch wall, so I mean it's a good wall, but I don't want it to bend, and I definitely don't want it to break loose and come into the back of my cab here. And so it's pretty important to be strong, so we will do that. But I'm not going to weld any of this or anything until we get our yellow frame up on. And I was getting ready to set it up on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld 2 pieces across it, and then when I'm going to sit it in and let them pieces lay on top, you know, from here over to the other side, and that way it'll actually be hanging in here, but it'll be hanging level, and then we'll get it squared everywhere we want it, and then we'll go to fabricating and welding it in. And I'll show you what I've gotten done on it. Okay, I've gotten the other wheel cut off, got it laid up, and I actually cut this side, you know, just about ground off. I think I measured these, and I believe they're going to come out. If I add a 1/2 inch plate to the outside of this, it's going to actually be on the inside of the wall. So I may put a plate on each side of this and help connect this subframe in, because it's 6 inches, so it's going to run from here, you know, down 6 inches. This is going to be hanging from the, you know, from the sides of the subframe. So I'm going to keep on it. I've got to get the other wheel piece cleaned up, and I've got to get these 2 pieces off here. And I don't know which way I said the last, but things keep getting changed around, and this opening here is going to be to the back because I left that 5 inches of overhang behind the spring. That brings this behind the cross member, this piece, so I'll be able to run it the way I want to run it, because there's never actually going to be any weight on here, and that'll, you know, I'm still going to weld pieces in, but that will keep me from having any force on it. You know, all the force on this front side of it, you know, they're going to be pushing down that way. So we will get this on, hopefully have it in there tomorrow if nothing goes wrong here, and we'll keep cleaning up on it. It's getting ready to get dark on me, so I didn't want to go ahead and get any of the videotaping done that I needed to do. But I've got one more thing to show you. Okay, I told you one thing, I got 2, but here's a cylinder that I picked up. This is a 4-inch bore cylinder. This is the same bore as the one that's on the boom now. This is the one we're going to use. It's 10 inches longer from center to pin to center to pin. And you know, we can shorten it if we need to, and this one will be easier to shorten for the fact that the fitting actually goes in the base instead of into the cylinder itself. So, you know, I can actually chuck this up and cut this off in the lathe if I need to, or you know, cut it off with a cut-off wheel. There's a lot of ways of doing it, but put it in the forge all the big old lathe, and we can take care of that. But it may be fine the way it is, 10 inches, because, you know, we're going down lower in the front, and then we're going to go farther out, so that's going to take care of our problem there. Buddy of mine gave me this. He had a bunch of them, and some of them have been rebuilt and some of them haven't, so it's one of them deals where it may or may not have been, but It's a pretty common cylinder. It's, you know, off a backhoe, I'm sure. Probably, I'm going to say a case for John Deere. It sort of looks like a case collar, but I'm not sure if this one's built yet or not, but it's in good shape, so we'll, you know, go from there. And of course we'll mount our lock and everything on it when we get it on. But that will take care of our boom cylinder. And one more thing I'd picked up, show you. Okay, I picked this up, a transmission cooler. This is actually a hydraulic cooler, and it's a pretty big line size. I believe it's the same. Well, it looks like a 3/4 pipe thread, so it's going to be the same as our lines that's on it. You know, it's hard to find something that flows enough, and this is a really thick. It's only 2 core, but it's a really big, thick core, so it flows a lot. So we won't have any problems with it. This will get mounted in front of our radiator. I'm going to guess and say it's about 16 inches long and maybe 9 or 10 inches tall, 10 counting that. But that will work fine for our cooler. So we're going to get it mounted, and we'll have a couple hoses made for it. It'll just be in front of the radiator. But like I said, that is a hydraulic cooler. Hard to find a transmission cooler that flows enough, so that's why we went with this. And we'll get it on soon too, but you know, I'm sort of jumped on the bed now. I'm going to try to get as much finished on it. So, but appreciate everybody watching, appreciate everybody subscribe. Hopefully tomorrow we will get back on this thing. Don't mind the cold, just as long as it don't start raining or sleeting or anything real bad, and you know, the wrecker calls don't come pouring in. But being pretty busy here, so hard to get a lot of time to work on anything, but progress is coming along. So appreciate you. Bye. Don't be scared, folks. It's only Gary. No, folks, we didn't find Bigfoot. It's just Gary. All right, Gary, tell everybody why you didn't show up for the last rat rod bill.
Yeah. I was invited.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He overslept for about 2 days.
No.
Yeah, okay.
I wasn't invited.
He's invited, you just didn't show up.